We shall now take a look at how do we go about finding the sum and average of an input set of numbers. So let us say the user keeps entering numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So here he has totally entered 5 numbers. So count is 5 and the sum of these 5 numbers happens to be 15. The average is 3 and the count happens to be 5. So I'm interested to find sum and average of these numbers. So in order to find sum and average of these numbers, the user is going to keep on entering numbers one after the other. Once he says no more numbers to enter, at that point I'm going to calculate the sum and average of numbers. So in order to do this, I'll require one variable called as sum. I'll give it the initial value 0. I'll have another variable called as count. I'll give it the initial value 0. So initially no numbers are entered. So the sum is 0, count is 0. I need to do this, otherwise I'm not going to be able to add to sum and not be able to count properly also. Next step what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a number. Okay, I'm going to say read number. So user is going to enter a number. I'm going to read that number. Once I enter that number, or once a user enters the number, then I'm going to add it to sum. So I'm going to say sum is sum plus number. So whatever number is added, it is kept adding to sum repeatedly. And then since I have read one number, I need to increase count by 1. Count is increased by 1. So the first number I have read, I have added it to the variable sum or the memory location sum, as well as I have increased the count by 1. Now when I do this, I have to see whether the user has finished entering numbers. So here the decision box is not at the beginning. So here what I am doing is I am asking the user any more. That means any more numbers he or she wishes to enter. He or she is going to enter yes or no. If he says yes, then I am going to continue to read more numbers. Okay, this is the flow. I'm going to keep reading more numbers. If he says no, then what am I required to do? I am required to calculate the average. So I can say average is equal to sum upon count. Okay, this is the average I get, sum upon count. And then finally I can print the sum as well as average. So here I can say print sum as well as average. So this is going to print the sum as well as the average. The best way to understand this particular logic is to run through with a simple set of data. Alright, let's run with our data itself. Let us say the first, let's keep this variables here. Let's keep sum here, count here, and average I can show it at the very end. Alright, let us say sum is 0, count is 0. I read a number. Let's say the first number is 1. Sum is 0 plus 1. Sum becomes 1. Since I have read one number, count becomes 1. Any more, I press yes. So I can read one more number. Let's say the next number I enter is 2. So sum is 1 plus 2. It becomes 3. Okay, 1 plus 2 is 3. So sum becomes 3. Count, since I have read 2 numbers, count becomes 2. Any more, I again say yes, I want to enter some more numbers. I read the next number. Let's say the next number happens to be 3. Okay, I'm reading the numbers here. Alright, let me be clear. I'm reading 3. Sum is 3 plus 3. Now sum becomes 6. Count is I've read 3 numbers, so it becomes 3. Now again I ask any more numbers, I still say yes. I read the next number. It happens to be 4. Sum is 6 plus 4. It happens to be 10. I have read 4 numbers. Count is 4. Alright. Then I go back here. Since I am saying I want to enter one more number. So let's say I enter 5. Sum is 10 plus 5. It becomes 15. So this is the sum. Count is now 5 numbers because I have entered 5 numbers. Any more, I press no. I am not interested to enter any more. Average is sum upon count. 15 upon 5, average is equal to 3. And I am going to print the sum. So it's going to print 15 and average as 3. So this is the output it's going to print. The important thing or the tricky thing in this flowchart is you're reading a number and then asking the user, do you wish to enter any more numbers? So the decision is being made after the reading is done. This is an example of something called as the do while loop when you're learning in programming. Do while means do the statements first and then check the condition. Generally, we check the condition first and then do the statement. Here we are doing the statements and then checking the condition. So this is another example of how we go about it.